That's what I'm focused on. It's all about Team USA against France. So, they're gonna boo me. I'm gonna go back at them and tell them to suck it.
Joel Embiid and the country of France have beef. Let's explain. This all stems from Joel Embiid choosing the United States of America as his Olympic team over his native country of Cameroon as well as France. But it gets deeper though. Apparently, he had a backdoor handshake agreement to play with the French that somehow became dissolved, creating an environment where
Joël, rends ton passeport, hein. Rends ton passeport, Joël, hein. Tu vas aller jouer en France, hein. T'es pas américain, gros.
was inevitably possible. Now, how did all of this happen? And why are French people all across the country calling him out? Well, I'm glad you asked. Joel Embiid is an eighth-year center that plays for the Philadelphia 76ers in the National Basketball Association that is widely known as the most hated player on earth.
I'm probably the most hated guy in the league. I don't know why, cause I'm just cool.
Growing up in the West African country of Cameroon, basketball wasn't even his first sport. Homie didn't pick up a basketball until the age of 16, and now fast forward a decade plus later, he has accolades out of this world, from being an NBA MVP as well as being a multiple-time scoring champ. Naturally, being the basketball star that he is, the 7-foot big man would eventually want to play for the Olympics or play in the Olympics, as many other stars do, just to add to the resume, his basketball legacy. And during the summer of 2024, he was given that opportunity. Initially, it came down to two countries that he was deciding to play for: Cameroon, again where he was born, and France, where interestingly enough, the Olympic Games would and are being held. Now, the details are very murky here, but it is speculated that Embiid decided not to play for his home country of Cameroon, as there are strict rules within Cameroon's bylaws that does not allow their players to have multiple citizenships if they're going to play within the Basketball Federation. I'll refer to Neduritu podcast to explain this better. Link in my description if you want to hear the full podcast.
This post is made by Afro Ballers. Please be sure to check them out on Instagram. They post very good content. By becoming a French and USA citizen in 2022, Joel Embiid automatically ceased to be a citizen of Cameroon due to Cameroon's strict nationality laws. Due to this strict law, the decision could have been to play for either France or Team USA.
All indications say that he chose to play for France, but not being a citizen or being born of French parents, he asked for help to obtain his citizenship, going as high up as the president to accomplish his goal. Now, this is where the fun begins. Obtained by French media outlets, in the year 2021, Joel Embiid wrote a letter to then-President Macron of France asking to grant him citizenship. In the letter, Embiid mainly explains his connection to France via family that already lives there, as well as the country being his second home. But for purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on specific sentences. Written by Joel Embiid. Mr. President, after discussions with the French Basketball Federation, my choice has been made. I would like to take steps to obtain French naturalization and thus be eligible for selection with the Blues. I therefore do not wish to play for any other national team. I have never worn the colors of any national team. It would be an immense honor for me to join this French team to participate in the next major international competitions, first and foremost the 2024 Olympic and Paralympic Games. I measure the solemnity of my request, what it represents, what it means, but also in certain respects its duration and its complexity against the usual criteria for granting nationality. I therefore ask for your support in these initiatives, support without which they will not be successful. Embiid would eventually get his French citizenship in 2022, 1 year later, after this letter was sent. Now, something must have happened between that time and the beginning of the 2023-2024 NBA regular season, because on October 5th, 2023, Joel Embiid would make it known that he'd officially be suiting up for the boys in blue with red and white stripes, choosing Team USA as his Olympic squad. Now, eventually, we would know that that thing would be the birth of his son Arthur, who was born on U.S. soil. He also made it known many months later that USA Basketball wanted him, and he felt more comfortable playing with the guys on that team. He also said that the weird historical dynamic between France and Cameroon was a major factor in why he decided not to play with France. If you read your history books, we all know that Cameroon was colonized by the French, and so he didn't want to put his family in that awkward situation, representing, for lack of a better term, his colonizers. Now, naturally, French basketball would be salty, and they came with a barrage of words against Embiid due to his USA decision. Boris Diaw, GM of French Basketball Federation, thanked Grant Hill with Team USA, who is also a former San Antonio Spur, probably has 2 rings, came out and said, Joel came to us and said that he wanted to play international basketball. He said he wanted to win, and he said he wanted to play for France, and he wanted to win with France. So we listened to him. French Basketball Federation President Jean Pierre, when asked about Embiid, said, Team USA with him? Who can beat you? Come on, nobody. This is an easy way for him to get an Olympic medal. Another former French basketball player, Frédéric Weiss, who infamously was the bull who was dunked on by Vince Carter in the Olympics, said this, I hate him, referring to Embiid, for the things that he did. I think he does not have any respect for France. I find it scandalous. I find it embarrassing. I don't care about his excuses because they are his words, and his words mean nothing. I would take away from him the French nationality, and I would ban him from entering France. Definitely very harsh words. The only one person of French basketball royalty to not seem unfazed by this decision was Tony Parker, another Spur and another French basketball legend. During an interview with Victor Wembanyama about what France would do during the Olympics, he said this, I didn't understand why people were so disappointed that Joel Embiid didn't play for France, because for me, he should play for Cameroon and not France. He is born in Cameroon, and he lived there for 16 years. Cameroon must be more disappointed than us. He's not even technically legitimate to play for France. Entered the 2024 Paris Olympic Games over the last month, and Joel Embiid has been receiving hella boosts from fans across different nationalities, which I mean, when really looking at it, is warranted or are warranted. From all accounts, he definitely did renege on French basketball after seeking them out to play for them. From all accounts, they did not go to him. He came to them. But in all reality, the year is 2024. What the hell do you expect with this type of player empowerment being at its peak, fam? He is not bound to any contractual obligations during the Olympics. He is allowed to do what he wants, and he should be able to. He should be able to change his mind if he sees something else. Speaking directly to French basketball fans, I get it. You sick as hell because you thought you were going to have a backcourt of Joel Embiid, Victor Wembanyama, and Rudy Gobert. Not gonna lie, that joint would have been tough as hell. Like, honestly, you being at home, you having home court with those 3, more so Joel Embiid and Victor Wembanyama. That would have been tough. But sometimes you don't get what you want. Plus, the man was inspired by his son. Once a seed comes through, there is no telling what a man is going to do. It is what it is, famo. And if anything, the French are getting what they deserve. The way that I see it, this is word to Toussaint Louverture getting his get back through the spirit of Joel Embiid. Regardless, all of this in my YouTubian perspective is poetry, with France facing the United States for the right to an Olympic gold medal and the Olympic basketball final coming up soon. This is how it was supposed to happen. Joel did what he did, and now he has to face the final boss, a French home crowd during an Olympic finals in France. I'm sure all eyes will be on Joel Embiid, who will no doubt be surrounded by an aroma of beef.